The Weight of All My Breaks, Part 2. Falling for Elias wasn't a lightning strike. It was slower, stranger, like thawing. For weeks after that first conversation, I found myself going back to the coffee shop even when I didn't want to admit why. My friend teased me for it, and I brushed her off, pretending I just liked the atmosphere. But the truth was, I wanted to see him. Not because I was ready. Not because I trusted myself not to bleed again. But because he made me feel something I thought I'd lost forever. Curiosity. We began as strangers who shared tables, then acquaintances who shared stories, then, somehow, friends who shared silence. I learned Elias was a writer, or at least trying to be one. His notebook was filled with half-finished stories, fragments of poems, bits of conversations he'd overheard and wanted to keep. "You carry your heartbreak in here, don't you?" I asked once, pointing at the battered notebook. He smiled, faint but real. "Doesn't everyone?" That answer disarmed me. It wasn't a performance, not the smooth, rehearsed lines I'd heard from men before. It was just true. I didn't tell him about my own heartbreaks at first. I didn't want to hand him the map of all the places I'd been broken. But over time, little pieces slipped out, like how I couldn't stand certain songs, or how I flinched when someone said forever. He didn't press. He just listened. And in his silence, I felt more seen than I ever had when someone was speaking. But the fear never left me. Every time my phone buzzed and his name appeared, I hesitated. Would this be the message that ended it? Every time he smiled at me, I wondered how long until that smile would be pointed at someone else. Every moment of happiness came with a shadow, the whisper, "This won't last." One night, after weeks of tiptoeing around whatever was building between us, he walked me home. It was late, the streets washed in the yellow glow of lamps. My apartment building loomed and I wanted to say goodnight, but he lingered. "I like this," he said softly. "What?" "This, walking you home, talking with you, existing near you." He looked at me, and it wasn't hungry or expectant. It was steady. "But I don't want to rush you." That undid me more than any grand confession could have. I felt tears sting my eyes, and I hated it. Hated how close to the surface my wounds always were. "You don't know what you're saying," I whispered. He tilted his head. "Then tell me." And I did. Right there on the sidewalk, with the hum of traffic in the distance and the taste of tears in my mouth, I told him everything. About the lies, the betrayals, the abandonment. About the nights I curled up on cold bathroom tiles, wishing I could stop feeling altogether. About how I was terrified of being loved, because love had always been the beginning of my undoing. He didn't flinch. He didn't tell me I was being dramatic or broken. He just listened, his eyes steady, his jaw tight like he was holding back the urge to fix something unfixable. When I finally ran out of words, trembling and exhausted, he reached out, slowly, carefully. His hand brushed mine, not grabbing, not pulling, just an offering. "I don't want to be another scar," he said quietly. "But if all I can do is sit with you in the dark, I'll do that too." I broke then, not in the shattering way I had before, but in a way that felt like cracking open. The kind of break that lets light in. We didn't kiss that night. We didn't have to. His words were enough. The months that followed weren't perfect. I wish I could say I jumped into love fearless and whole, but the truth is, healing is never neat. There were days I pulled back, convinced he'd leave like the rest. Days when small things, a delayed text, a forgotten detail, sent me spiraling. But Elias never punished me for it. He never told me I was too much. He met my fear with patience, my doubts with quiet steadiness. Little by little, the fear loosened its grip. The first time he kissed me, it wasn't in a dramatic swell of music or under fireworks. It was in my kitchen, the same place where years ago I'd burned pancakes with another man. Elias had been helping me cook. Though helping was generous. He was mostly laughing at how I nearly set the stove on fire again. I turned to scold him, and he just leaned in, soft and sure. His lips on mine felt less like a storm, and more like coming home. I pulled back, breathless, waiting for the panic to rise. It didn't. Instead, I laughed. genuine, surprised laughter that shook something loose inside me. He grinned, kissed me again, and for the first time, I let myself believe that maybe this could be different. Love with Elias wasn't a roller coaster. It was a steady climb. Not without bumps, not without moments where my old wounds tried to dictate the present, but different. Gentle. He never promised forever. He promised today. And then the next today. And somehow, that was more powerful than all the grand declarations I'd ever heard. One evening, curled up together on his couch, he read me something from his notebook. A poem. About scars. About how some wounds don't close because they're not meant to. They're meant to remind us we've survived. At the end, he looked at me. "You're not broken," he said. "You're proof that love can survive heartbreak. That maybe heartbreak is the way we learn how to hold love when it finally comes." I cried then, not from pain, but from relief. Because for the first time, I didn't feel like my scars made me unlovable. I felt like they had led me here, to him. Now, when I think of love, I don't think of notes left on counters or lies whispered in the dark. I don't think of shattered glass or empty promises. I think of Elias, of coffee shops and quiet conversations, of patience and laughter and the simple miracle of being seen. It took every heartbreak to get here. Every scar, every tear, every night I thought I'd never be whole again. They were the map, and Elias was the destination. And for the first time in my life, I'm not afraid. Because love didn't just survive my heartbreaks. It grew from them. And now it's mine. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and a comment of what you thought of the story. And don't forget to subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it.